Okay, thank you, MC. So all gentlemen here, and I hope that we can also have a very fruitful and informative discussion. So, dear friends, dear guests, online, offline, I am from HSBC. I'm Philip. I'm in charge of the SME sector in the bank. So I'm the moderator for the second round of a discussion. As you heard from the MC, in Mainland China, I have been working there for over 6 years, and 1 year was in GBA. So that's why I've got some experience, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. So I'm very happy to have 3 panelists. All of them are very experienced. And we're going to talk about the Nansha, what are the opportunities Nansha can bring to the Hong Kong businesses. As Mr. Xie shared with you what are the latest policies and the developments there. And in this round of a discussion, we're going to go deeper. What are the opportunities and what are tips to the businesses from our panelists? So let me start from Raymond, who's sitting next to me. Raymond is the chief liaison office Guangzhou Nansha Service Center in Hong Kong. So Mr. Raymond Yip. So he is also a representative of the service center in Hong Kong. Can you please share with us, in terms of technology innovation, employment for the youth, as well as opening up, what opportunities can Nansha bring to our businesses, particularly young entrepreneurs? So thank you. I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have a short video, about 1 minute long, just as you heard from the chairman. So the that is the rocket pilot in Nansha. So this is everything is real in this video. This is a rocket pilot. It was put into operations last year. Every year it produces 30 rockets every year. And so Zhongyu Aerospace Technologies, it moves its headquarters from Beijing to Nansha. So it is the pilot that is located in the most southern end. So the others in Beijing and in the north. So why in Nansha? Because they've got all the infrastructure, all the supports there, electronics industry, and all the supports you need there. And also the geographical location is very close to the sea, to the ocean. So several kilometers away, you can actually go to the shore, and including the Wenchang launching space in Hainan in 3 years' time. So there will be the aero traveling there. So about 10 minutes traveling, you can actually about 100 kilometers above the ground. The 3 more minutes, you will feel that you have lost your weight, the gravity, and so actually, so we will have a lucky draw and for this chance, and the Hong Kong TDC can also be one of the sponsors for this the space travel in the future. So back to Nansha. Just now, Mr. Xie shared with you a lot of information about Nansha already. So what are the specials for Nansha? So that we have a Nansha proposal. It was proposed last June. So another feature is that Nansha is the heart of GBA. If you look at the geographical location, it is right at the center part of GBA. And Nansha has its heart as well. Why? Because Nansha is not about absorbing capitals, businesses, technologies, talents. Nansha, in my understanding, is a place that takes care of all the businesses in a holistic way, including the businesses from Hong Kong. You have seen that. So we have schools dedicated for Hong Kong people. We have a DSC for Hong Kong. We have other facilities. So this is the first place that runs such schools, not for profit, for Hong Kong people, for Macau people. And we have the Shenzhen Technology University, the Nansha campus there. It is 10% bigger. The Nansha campus is 10% bigger than that in Hong Kong. So when the student graduate in Nansha, we can offer 1,000 training opportunities to the young graduates from the universities. And a lot of industries are available in Nansha, but not available in Hong Kong. So such as the rocket industry, of course, we have the automaking. So Toyota factory is the biggest car making facility outside of Japan. 1 million units, and we have a shipping mill as well. So after Shanghai and Dalian, we have the mini electronics in Nansha. We have new materials, new energy, and as well as deep sea research. When young people start up their business, they can also enjoy subsidies from the government. So by young people, that is below 45 years old. So you are all young people except me, because you are all below 45 years old. So if you don't start a business, if you just work there, you can also enjoy subsidies within 3 years. So above 45 years old, if you work in Nansha, you can enjoy the benefit from the government. Is 510,000 yuan RMB for 3 years. So, that in the TVB, there's at 7 o'clock in the evening, there's the kicking off a Nansha program. So this is not a pool for the viewing of the TVB program, but this is a very well shot program by TVB. It introduces Nansha.
You may have seen on the program a couple who used to work at the Hong Kong Airport Authority, making $10,000 a month each, but now they've set up in Nansha a platform helping Hong Kong people look for universities. They said that the income had increased and they have found the dignity. And in Nansha, they felt so valued. The Nansha government cares so much about them. And at 2,400 renminbi a month, they're renting a 1,000 square feet flat with 3 rooms and furniture provided. Well, I'm the chief liaison officer working in Hong Kong. Every day, many young people knock on my door and they said, "I've watched the TVB program. I want to get a job like that and live in a 1,000 square feet flat paying $2,400 a month." So I've been kept busy trying to explain to them. I hope that if you have watched the program, you are welcome to find me as well, and I can show you some ways to go. And for your enterprise, of course, you will get support from the government and incentives, particularly even for the area of metaverse. The government can, at the maximum, offer subsidy of $200 million for the top-notch team. If you want, you can actually collect an information kit from us. For someone retiring, well, Nansha also provides the services needed. It is planning for the building of a hospital similar to the Hong Kong U Hospital in Shenzhen. It is also planning a Hong Kong people community of a sizable area. modeling on Hong Kong lifestyle, and it's also bringing in the services for the elderly in Hong Kong. And Nansha is close to Guangzhou and also not far from Hong Kong. For high-speed rail, only about 30 minutes you can reach Nansha from Hong Kong. So people actually, Hong Kong people who live in Nansha can come back to Hong Kong for medical appointment if they want. Nansha of the entire Guangdong province is the only newly developed district. There are only 19 such new development areas across China, and Nansha is one of them. Therefore, it has actually very pioneering policies. And taxation arrangements are different for Hong Kong people. And also for non-Chinese, non-permanent residents can enjoy the tax incentives. There are lots and lots of support measures and incentives. For different stages in life, Nansha can provide what you need. Therefore, that's what I meant when I said that Nansha has the heart. So please don't miss the boat. If you want to enjoy the opportunities in Nansha, just come to me. Well, I'm the Hong Kong-based heart of Nansha. Thank you. Thank you. I just used up my time. Well, very good. Well said. Heart of Nansha. Just now, I saw that many people looked interested in what you were saying. Maybe later on you'll have lots of follow-up work to do. So now let's invite the next guest. He's Mr. Ronald Lee, Senior Deputy General Manager of Ampro Supply Chain Management. Guangdong Ampro Supply Chain Management is a Sino-foreign joint venture. Ronald has rich experience in GBA and also the region in terms of supply chain, and is also involved in the design, construction, and operation of the Nansha plant. So maybe I'll ask Ronald to share with us what do you think of the opportunities offered to Hong Kong companies, and how can Hong Kong entrepreneurs expand their business across China through Nansha? Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be with you here to share with you in the past few months. I know on TV, whether on TV or GoGBA TDC platform, various enterprises have been actually studying hard what Nansha can offer. I'm Ronald. I'm a Hong Kong native. For more than a decade, I focused on, I've been working in Nansha and working at a Hong Kong foreign-owned company. I want to bring out the message that I know there are many startups here in the floor, but some could be factory owners, business people, or e-commerce operators. Nansha now, what can it offer you? Well, even before or during or after the pandemic, actually, I've had many Hong Kong clients, enterprises specifically, upgrade their businesses and lower their costs. As I said, well, actually, in 2007, our company was established. By 2010, in Nansha, in the Nansha district, we began operation. Basically, we work on a project for UAE to process the plastic elements or scrap sent from Middle East to according to the needs in China, particularly needs in southern China. We package these plastic elements. So we also provide a logistical support. Over time, besides chemicals, in 2017, we branched into non-chemical industries and also cold chain businesses. For example, you can see on the screen some of our production facilities, but my focus will be here more on how Hong Kong enterprises can, through Nansha, increase their business volume and lower their cost. These are pictures of our facilities in the logistics park in Nansha. the integrated logistics park. I hope that, well, you will know more about actually what you can do. Actually, in the Nansha district, we've been operating there for 13 years. Every year, we processed about 1.5 million tons of goods in and out of Nansha. That is about 12 TEUs in and out of Nansha. Why do I say in and out? Because for the past decade or so, many of our businesses actually involve products sent to Nansha and China, but a lot of them also were re-exported to Southeast Asia. So entrepreneurs, you now may know that right through the district. In this district, you cannot just actually engage in China business, but also engage in businesses for the Southeast Asian market or in Hong Kong. And that's what we've been doing. As for GBA, you can see on the screen how close it is to Hong Kong. You can look at the map. Raymond gave you much details. I'm not going into details anymore, or the location, geographical location of GBA. But right from the start, Mr. Chair said that one of the most important industries in Nansha is actually logistics and shipping. For SMEs, what sort of opportunities can it bring? That is, Guangzhou port actually already ranked #2 worldwide. Based on what Mr. Chair said, compared to Shenzhen, it is even bigger than the Yantian port in Shenzhen. That is in terms of its throughput. Every week, there are more than actually 100 routes going to different parts of the world. So I'm not going to, well, not to mention the road networks connecting GBA with Shenzhen and Hong Kong. And another tunnel to be built in 2024. The shopping transportation distance will be cut even further. And also there are bonded areas in Nansha in the free trade zone, and there's also intermodal transportation service there in the integrated free trade bonded area. So and there are transportations taking you to Central Europe and elsewhere. Of course, for Hong Kong enterprises, undoubtedly, Hong Kong is a world-class trade center, super connector. Many SMEs here have got lots of connections with not just China, but maybe ASEAN or Europe, North America. But for Hong Kong enterprises, what are the pain points that may be facing? That is the cost of logistics and also limited logistic resources. What does that mean? That is, even if you want to expand your business, not just the cost of the cargo, but also the huge costs imposed or brought about by the logistics, and also the insurance costs, interests, and so forth. Undoubtedly, that's a burden in a way to entrepreneurs here. In the past, we've helped Hong Kong, food companies importing food products carry out their business in China. For example, one of our clients is a large co-food companies. In the past, all of their goods would go to Nansha for storage. In the past, they would use all the containers or storages in Hong Kong, so that on a regular basis, they would, depending on the need, they would send the food items to Hong Kong. And that would ease the pressure on the storage facilities in Hong Kong. They would be able to do more trading in Hong Kong, whereas the food products, the stock, would be placed in Nansha. So we use the trucks to transport the goods into Hong Kong as a support. We also help another Hong Kong bakery whose products are all made in Hong Kong, but they use shipper to enter China market. But on the other hand, their tin cans, packaging, they are all from overseas, and through Nansha, they would do the packaging and labeling right there in Nansha for imports back into China. And some Asian countries, maybe some durian mooncakes, for example, they are the cakes are sent to the bonded area in Nansha, and then the packaging materials from Nansha we use to do the repackaging for consumption or sale within the Chinese market. There are also cross-border e-commerce operators. In the past, such e-commerce companies would, do the business through mainland platforms. But in the past, it was a very complicated business because the cargoes had to send to be a certain platform, and if there are problems with the goods, then they would have to be returned to the original company. And now we can actually concentrate products in one spot, and then through various platforms we can carry out different distributions of goods and reducing the need for goods to be sent back to Hong Kong for follow-up or other services. So if they want to, say, for the goods to be returned to Hong Kong, then our frontline platform can facilitate the delivery of goods back to Hong Kong. Or if you want to expand your business to Malaysia, Singapore, then we can, through the front desk in Nansha, redistribute the goods from China to those Southeast Asian countries. And this can actually facilitate the flow of goods. Other area is medical equipment. During the pandemic, through a New Zealand company, which in the past put all the resources in Nansha, targeting the China market or Asian market, particularly at the start of the pandemic, but they found that in 2021, the situation was more serious in North America, and then we help send the goods to North America for them through chartered flights. So Nansha, in other words, is not just for entering the Chinese market. It can also be used as a base for businesses for North America or elsewhere. And lastly, we also have the Japanese company in Hong Kong to do outsourcing of their services. For SMEs right now, I'm sure many of you will need to do a lot of paperwork, follow up on orders or issue checklists or bill of freighting. There's a lot of paperwork to be handled, and we do help some Hong Kong companies take up that kind of work. So simply put, well, based on our survey, in the past, using Nansha as a resource for supply chain, it helped actually reduce the costs. Lastly, our company is based in Nansha, and yet it wants to create synergy effect with Hong Kong and Guangdong and Macau, and we are also open to the world. If there are chances, I would like to exchange name cards to you and let you consider various options of services we can provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. Next, shall we invite another native Hong Kongese to share with us. He also works and lives in Nansha for over 7 years, and he's to talk about setting up a business there, as well as some tips if you live there. So let's invite Raymond, Professor Singh, to share with us. Good afternoon. I am the third R, the Raymond. Actually, if you see my title, it is a professor. So a little bit about myself. I am from the academic background. Why am I here? To talk about innovation and set up a business. In Hong Kong University or in Shenzhen University, where I used to work, I was a professor. And later, I joined this company and set up my own business in Nansha. So this is the company I set up, and gradually I also set up a factory. Actually, what I'm going to talk about today is my story. So why from academic field to be a business person, to be in the business side. So maybe from a story, you will understand what are the do's and the don'ts if you want to set up your own business there. So So once the president of the Hong Kong Baptist University has said that Raymond, there's an opportunity there. So Professor Shin, so there was a company there. They wanted to, to do a industrialization project in Nansha, and there will be a support needed from a listed company. So do you want to work in Guangzhou or South China to set up a business there, and instead of an academic person? Well, I thought about it. Actually, I used to work in the medicine side and later science of new technologies, and then new materials and EVs and so forth. Well, it is a kind of a challenge which I like very much, and setting up a business is also quite challenging. And also, I could make more money because with the support from a listed company, it sounds good. So I thought about it, and several professors discussed about it and trying to set up a business there. So, there are so many places in South China, in Qianhai, and some other places. We considered different cities. And finally, we were attracted by Nansha. It was very beautiful, very good environment there. And a lot of things actually attracted us quite a lot. The location there, so the red dot there, that is Nansha. So when I worked in Shanghai University, it was quite far away because my family was in Hong Kong. But in Nansha, they have a very good railway connection, and I could come back to Hong Kong very easily. And so I could take care of my family. I can also take care of my work there. So when I talked to government officials, to different government departments, and to the talent pool, in 2016, I started talking about them. And I realized that they wanted to grow Nansha not only for the high-tech sector, but also logistics industries and other industries as well. So they had a lot of support to different industries and the talents. So I realized that Nansha could be a very good option for me, being a professional, being a academic person, being a professor. So we were attracted to Nansha, and we could enjoy all the benefits from Nansha and also the services there. And also there were capital support, and there were subsidies for accommodations and allowances of accommodations and so forth. And some people said that in some places, sometimes it was very difficult to get the subsidies, because even though they had their policies, it's not marketing, but actually it's true that in Nansha, so they did want us to be there, and they did want us to get the subsidies, get their support, because they did value the talents quite a lot, so that we could really set our business there. So I have to give a thumb up to Nansha. In 2016, I went to Nansha, set up my business there. In 2016, we found a place to set up a lab. It's about 1,000 square meters. In October 2016, Nansha is very efficient. The people, the government departments, and so forth. So we set up a company and started to run. We had a lab there. We had a research base there, and also in October, actually, we just cut off the ribbon and started our operations for the scientific researches there. Our Guangzhou company is basically focused on the lithium materials for EV batteries, as well as other new materials, as well as some additives to the lithium batteries. In addition to this, our Guangzhou company also helps clients, for example, buying preparing some the solvents or the chemicals, because it is very expensive to buy the foreign products. So that's why we helped our clients reducing their production cost. So that was what we did in Guangzhou. So from the establishment till now, in Guangdong province, in Guangzhou, and in Nansha, we have been enjoying a lot of support from government, the departments. So, for example, the research subsidy, In Guangdong province, there's a provincial level fund. So they have 50% of supporting funds and 70% of from the Nansha. So we got 10 million from the Guangdong province, and we got 7 million from Nansha district. I don't know whether this scheme will change, but that was the amount we got. So we also applied for 50 patents, and 20 have already been granted. A lot are related to the lithium batteries, the different chemicals. So our key focus is FTC. So this is an additive to the lithium battery. So we work together with the partners. Our technology will enable less pollution of pollutants. And in terms of cost, we do have our advantages because it reduces production cost. We have a half production value because we want to grow our business bigger in Nansha. And a lot of raw materials, we use a lot of hazardous chemicals in our production. Later, we changed. Just in Gaolan Harbor, it is the national level pilot zone. And 1.5 hours, we could go to Qianhai. We set up our new business there. It is a new company there. We have about 100 people working there. In 2017, we started buying land, a lot of investments. And this is the size of our company. These are the buildings. And currently, the output of our facility is about the 3 million tons of electrode liquid, and we are making more investments to expand the capability. Setting up a business in Nansha from the very beginning until now, my experience is that when you start up your business, you have to think it very clearly. So just as you heard from the previous panelist, when you set up your business, you have to get it very clear what you want. And a lot of people want to set up a business, but they don't have a very clear goal, what they want. And you have to get a plan in place first. So you need to communicate with the government. For example, I mentioned some subsidies from the government. So if you don't have a clear target, you don't know what subsidies or what support you can get from the government. A lot of subsidies and funds are there waiting for people to apply. And the third step is also very important. Now the border restrictions are lifted, and living there or studying there. I used to work just living in Nansha. The life is really comfortable. You can jogging. You can go for playing basketballs and so forth. This is a very enjoyable life. Even though my family is in Hong Kong, it is not difficult at all to come back to Hong Kong. So some people, because of the COVID, they could only come back to Hong Kong 2 or 3 times in a year. But now, without any border restriction, it is much easier. A lot of entrepreneurs already said just now that you have to consider about the manpower as well. You can't just wait. The government, they do have a lot of supports. However, you have to, do something about yourself in order to run your business there. You have to set up a business. You can go to Dennis for help. You can also go to Raymond for help. For example, KOS, my friends, and 2 founders. So, for example, how to deal with the human resources. So, if possible, they can share with you a lot of tips as well. You can also ask the Mr. Share about the beneficial treatments as well. Yeah, we are always here, ready to help you, and we can also share more experience with you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Raymond. Just now you heard from Raymond very clearly that Nansha is a very good place for new business, a lot of support and subsidies from the government, and a lot of helpful policies and measures in place. So when a business grows there, the banking support is also critical. So talking about the businesses, usually you need these services. HSBC has been operating in Mainland China as well. We are the biggest foreign bank that run business in Mainland China as well. In GBA, in Guangdong province, we have our deployments already for many years, actually. And we have over 80 branch offices in Guangdong. In Guangdong province, we have about 3,000 people working for us. Last week, I was in Guangzhou. I met my colleagues there. So we provide all-around services to businesses. Of course, one of the targets for HSBC in GBA is to help with the businesses, particularly the SMEs. So, a lot of our friends may say that, the HSBC only takes care of these big companies, not the SMEs, right? Actually, now we support the startups and the SMEs quite a lot. So we hope that I deliver this message to all of you today. So among our 5 policies, one important one is to support to the businesses who go to GBA. So we have 5 connects. So the first one is Bank Account Connect. So Hong Kong and Mainland China, particularly Guangdong province, so we can connect your bank accounts. Opening bank accounts, we can provide 1+1 services to support the business who go to the GBA to grow their business. This is a free of charge service if you open a bank account. The second connect is the payment connect. So in addition to opening bank account, more importantly is that you deal with the payments. So a lot of cross-border payments. In HSBC, our payment connect is really helpful. We guarantee that within 2 minutes, the payment will be done to your bank account. So in the Greater Bay Area, this will be a very helpful support, very convenient. The third connect is the service connect. I believe that a lot of our businesses need such services. After you open a bank account, after you make your payments, they need advice, they need supports. In Guangzhou and Foshan, we have already set up this service hotline, as well as the WeChat mini app. So at any time in the day, if you have any question, you can also access our Service Connect through the WeChat mini app. The third one is Loan Connect. A business wants to grow, they need capital support. And just now you have heard that the governments have a lot of supports, a lot of funds, including loans for the businesses. So in our 1+1 bank account, we have umbrella facilities. So you can get the loan and use it in Hong Kong and Mainland China. So this is the fourth connect.
The last connect is Trade Connect. Guangzhou is busy with trading activities. There's e-commerce and general trading activities. So we will provide convenience for traders, merchants. Because of time, well, I just quickly briefed you on HSBC's support for Hong Kong enterprises in the mainland. I think in the coming session, my colleagues Isaac and Ray will be happy to answer any questions you might have. I think most important is that we can give you all an idea of, it's most important to have someone walking with you, supporting you. And in your development in GBA, HSBC does want to grow together with you. So having heard from our guests today in the sharings, I hope that you can have the confidence in going GBA. So as I said, we want to have more interactions. So right now, I've got some questions in hand. And for the floor, or participants online, if you have any questions, please scan the QR code. If I can't answer your questions today, I'm sure the organizer will follow them up for you. So online, there was a question raised online. The first one, it is for Raymond. The question is, Mr. Ip, based on your experience, Nansha compared to other districts in GBA, what are its advantages? Could you highlight them again? Well, Nansha has got lots of advantages. So it will take me 10 minutes to go through them again. But on the whole, well, it's geographical location, and policy. As I said, it is a new district at national level, the only one in Guangdong province. Therefore, it is pioneering various policies, and it provides actually a whole life cycle of services for Hong Kong people, because now it has a target of 2030 to provide synergy effect in Hong Kong and Macau, to be actually an accelerator in actually splitting up their business growth. So it must work together with Hong Kong, Macau, like HSBC. So Hong Kong and Nansha are the most faithful partners, and they are necessary, for each other. Thank you, Raymond. To just supplement here, just now as the HSBC within China has much investments worldwide. Well, our training center is also it's going to be built in Nansha in 2024. That's our global training center for the training of staff serving the Asia-Pacific region, and also senior management staff from around the world, numbering 14,000 altogether. So I hope that, particularly for Nansha, that will be a sign of support. Well, Nansha, on behalf of Nansha, I'm very grateful to your announcement just now. Next question is for Mr. Lee. Opening up a company in Nansha, how can we recruit the staff we need? In Hong Kong, we've heard that lately business companies are scrambling to attract staff. But how about Nansha? The key universities, graduates and researchers, would they join your companies there? I think for our company, well, we can be an example for you. We've been in Nansha for 13 years, and we've got 130 staff, excluding the outsourced staff. Of the 130 staff, right in the beginning, where did we find them? Undoubtedly, in the past, the policy and development of Nansha have attracted some industries to go there, whether they be in the manufacturing or service industries. They're supporting policies, and that actually helped attract companies there. In the beginning, undoubtedly, we used a lot of staff from Guangzhou, because back then there were not many people living in Nansha. But as time went, 4 or 5 years later, gradually we were able to recruit local staff. That's important because, for people who want to live there, to work there, you need to have a good match between work and life. If you're a Nansha person who works in Guangzhou and travel by more than an hour per trip, then that would be a mismatch. So we have a policy of trying to find locals to join our company, and the government there has so much support behind this policy, and many people are willing to change their their registration, move from other places to Nansha. Well, they've got 2 Raymonds here. Maybe I will ask the first Raymond, Professor Sun first. Hong Kong enterprises in Nansha or GBA, what are the areas that they would most likely neglect? That is, in GBA, what are the areas that companies may neglect the most? Well, it could be the support given by the local governments. For every places, they have their own support. And it's mentioned by various guests, like in Shenzhen. Shenzhen has its own advantages, and like Nansha, in the beginning, you may not know well what advantages are offered by which city. So you may ignore the support for talents or cash support or policy support or the support for supply chains. So for people who want to set up the business, they better pay attention to that. So maybe another Raymond can supplement. Yes, I feel that often people neglect the incentives and support policies offered in Nansha. And also that's because in the past people had a not so comprehensive impression of Nansha. So my office has been only operating for 7-8 months. So in the past months, we tried hard to improve people's impression, but fortunately, I think we have found a solution. So you need to understand more about the place. And also in GBA, there are 9 cities there. And of course, my suggestion is you need to make a choice and don't try to go to all 9 cities. You don't have, for SMEs in particular, you don't have all the resources. I will suggest to you which city to choose. Yeah, in the beginning, when I went to Nansha, people were saying, people were saying that it's a place with clusters of sands. So they were really not sure, not clear about what the city was like. Well, once again, we'd like to thank our guests. I think time is about up. So let me give them a round of applause. Once again, thank you all the guests and Philip for moderating.